Your ass is next.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Your ass is next.
I like that jingle. I like that jingle. And I didn't get knocked the last time, so I feel real good about that. I didn't get knocked for a copyright infringement. I don't know why I got knocked on my own personal jingle. Well, I thought it was my own personal jingle, but obviously they're saying it was somebody else's music. So it's all good. But good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, whenever you're going to be checking this out, because I know everybody doesn't check my lives out. So they check them out on the playback. Might be in the middle of the night when you're checking this thing out. Wherever it is, what time it is, it doesn't matter. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me. The Villager on Deck is in effect, and I am moving some stuff around here because I had to do some cleaning. Some people, the podcasters say they got to do, some house cleaning. They got to do some house cleaning. It's usually just, talking about stuff right at the beginning. I actually had to do some house cleaning. I actually had to clean something up, like right around my deck and stuff. I don't like a lot of stuff to get around the deck, because dust gets inside the channels and then things just don't work the way they're supposed to work. So I appreciate everybody that's going to be in here today. Looks like I got somebody watching over there at, Real Talk 40 and over for a second. Hey, they don't really check my stuff out over there. I don't know why they had invited me long time ago to be a part of they page, but for some reason, They don't share the streams or nothing, but somebody over there watching today. What's up, my brother Henry Williams? He over there laughing already. I ain't said shit funny yet. Henry. Just get ready. Get ready though. You might chuckle a little if you stick around in here, brother Henry. So what we doing right now is we're doing some black stuff today. Okay. I mean, I'm going to talk about probably some other people that are not black, but the main focus of this stream is black people. And I know I got Kevin Hart up on the screen in all his splendor. You know, when they had him in them boots, and let me just get off the thumb. Just get the whole thing. So you ain't got to hear. When they put Kevin in them boots, we had to know they had him. They got him when they put him in them boots. They put him in that fur coat and them little boy shorts and them boots. We had to know, y'all. We had to know it was over for Kevin. It was over for Kevin. Kevin was absolutely bought and sold at that point. Well, bought and paid for, you know, and he's made a lot of money. I mean, I cannot knock a black man getting it in. I cannot knock that. But I am going to knock Kevin today. I'm going to knock Kevin hard today. Not Kevin Hart. I'm going to knock Kevin hard today. Okay. So we're going to get with Kevin in just a minute here. But before I really get deep into the messages of today, I want to salute some people. As most people who know me, they know that I'm from Washtenaw County. And I'm actually from Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is inside of Washtenaw County. Okay. And I take full pride of that. I take full pride in where I grew up, where I was born and raised, and, you know, was able to spend all my life there, you know, until I decided to flee, you know, and go to Atlanta right after I graduated from high school. So spent all my 18 years in Washtenaw County in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then, you know, got up out of here for a minute and then came back. But I love the city of Ann Arbor. I love what it did for me on an educational set. I love how it built a lot of character in me by being around a lot of people who did not look like me. But also growing up around a lot of people who did look like me, a lot of family. I had a lot of family at the time in Ann Arbor, so I was proud and thankful of that. Growing up around a lot of men who own businesses, women who own businesses in this town, that was a great thing. Ann Arbor will never ever get back to what it was. I believe there was a renaissance for Black Americans in this town, but there was a renaissance. There was a true renaissance, I think, as well, for Black educators. Now, where they like to salute now in the Ann Arbor public school system, that we are, well, we got 44%. I think it's 44% of the schools have a Black principal, right? 44% of the schools have a Black principal. But what I know it to be, you know, I know a lot of those people to be figureheads. Okay. The numbers don't mean anything if you don't have any power. And when you have 44% of the schools in the Ann Arbor school district having Black principals, but you've only got what, like 9% teachers? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even compute how you can have that many leaders be Black, but you don't have that many teachers being Black. So, I mean, it's all good, but it's not. But I understand it, but I don't. So the main thing that I want to do now is I want to actually salute some people. Two people who actually played really, really integral parts of my life. And let me blow this back up here. I want to salute the Miles. Okay, I want to salute the Miles. Harry and Joetta Mile. Now, Harry Mile was the first Black teacher in Ann Arbor Public Schools. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. And I'm glad if Ann Arbor politics don't block this, because y'all can see why I put y'all in today. I ain't been putting y'all in the streams lately because y'all get problems from your people who read the stuff or listen to the video. I don't even think they listen to the video. They just don't like me putting up videos in Ann Arbor politics. But y'all always ask me, like, does this have anything to do with Ann Arbor? Well, this absolutely has something to do with Ann Arbor. And I try to get it in with the first 10 minutes so y'all understand. So hopefully, if y'all didn't block this in the Ann Arbor page specifically, I need the Ann Arbor page to recognize Harry and Joetta Mile. Harry and Joetta Mile are two icons in the educational sphere in the Ann Arbor Public School District. Okay, so please understand the respect that I had for Brother Harry Mile. I was a Mason at one time. I guess you're always a Mason. I probably could become a Mason again. I mean, I just got to pay my dues, right? I don't know. I ain't gonna pay no dues. I don't want to be a Mason again. I was a Mason. It was a time in my life that it was what it was. We were actually, me and my father, I guess we were the first father-son combination to ever go over. We were first. I don't like first, and y'all know I don't like first. I don't do first. What's up, Jackavelli? What's good with you? Coming in here with my hood name. He came in here with my hood name. I mean, a lot of people who know me, they know me as Buff in my area. So, and most people don't even call me Shannon, when I'm out in the streets, they call me Buff. So, if you know me for sure, my name is Buff, headed for I'm 53 now, about 37, 38 years. It is what it is. So somebody comes in with that name, that's who they talking about. They ain't talking about Colorado Buffaloes. So don't start throwing no shade on Brother Prime. It ain't got nothing to do with the Buff Nation. It's just me. And that's my nickname for the last 38 years, maybe even 39 years. I don't know. It's a long time. But yeah, Harry Mile, first Black teacher, and eventually became a principal. But his wife, Joetta Mile, was the first Black principal at the high school I went to. She got that job the year before. Actually, she got the job the year I started high school. And, it was one of those things where I didn't know how important that was back then. I just didn't know how important it was back then, and really what she had gone through in the Ann Arbor public school system to get to that point, to become the first Black principal at Huron High School. Now, since then, they've had plenty of Black principals, head principals, assistant principals, and things like that, and none as impactful as Joetta Mile. So Joetta Mile and Harry Mile are indeed icons in Ann Arbor, okay? They are indeed icons in Washtenaw County. They are indeed icons in the educational world because they are first. They are first. Harry being the first Black teacher at the Ann Arbor Public Schools and eventually becoming a principal, and Joetta being the first Black principal at Huron High School in 1986. So I salute them. Mrs. Mile, I believe she's still with us, and Harry is one of our ancestors, I believe, at this point, if I'm not mistaken. So I just want to make sure that when I get this video done, I'm gonna chop it down and I'm gonna put it out. And if anybody has any type of connection with Mrs. Mile, make sure y'all send this to her to let her know that Shannon McFall, who used to have to come down to her office every now and then and again, put this video together for her. So this is one of the things that I like to do for the people that I revere as icons, because I don't look at a lot of celebrities as icons. I look at people like this as icons. These are the true icons of the world. Educators are the true icons of the world, and educators all around this nation are catching hell. They catching hell because they are overworked and underpaid. They are under-resourced. And I know that they probably had to go through a lot of the same type of things that the teachers are going through today, on top of having to deal with the discrimination, on top of having to deal with the bigotry, on top of having to deal with the racism. Okay. So I definitely salute the Miles today because they are Ann Arbor first. They were first class and they are Ann Arbor first. Now, let me skip on down the road a little bit. It wouldn't be Ann Arbor without being Ypsi, right? It wouldn't be Washtenaw County if I didn't mention Ypsi, if I mentioned Ann Arbor. So let me go in and skip on over to my brother here, my brother, Charles Eugene Beatty. Okay. Charles Eugene Beatty. And is there a street named after Charles Eugene Beatty in the city of Ypsilanti? Who's doing the politicking over there in Ypsilanti? You know, I know a lot of people that's doing a lot of talking over there in Ypsilanti. I know a lot of people over there doing a lot of marching in Ypsilanti. I know a lot of people over there doing a lot of preaching in Ypsilanti. But who's doing the politicking over there in Ypsilanti? Is there a street named after Charles Eugene Beatty? Because Charles Eugene Beatty became Michigan's first black principal in 1940. Michigan's first black principal in 1940, when he became principal at Harriet School in Ypsilanti, Michigan in 1940. Michigan's first black principal in Ypsi. Michigan's. Now, a lot of people probably would have thought the first black principal would have came through Detroit. Might have came through Flint, might have came through Benton Harbor, might have came through Kalamazoo, might have came through Grand Rapids. No, but the first black principal in the state of Michigan came through Tucky. A lot of people don't like it when I call it Tucky. I know. A lot of y'all don't like it when I call it Tucky, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. But Ypsilanti's can hold a first. They can hold a first on Ann Arbor. Y'all can't do very many things better than Ann Arbor, but y'all did do at least this better than Ann Arbor, because we didn't have a black principal before 1940. I can definitely tell you that over here in the Deuce. But in Ypsilanti, Michigan's first black principal happened with Charles Eugene Beatty becoming the first at the Harriet School in Tucky. Okay. Now, I believe that is now called Perry. Is that Perry now? It's called Perry, right? Okay. But I definitely want to salute him. So I might just chop this up into two things, or I might just keep it as my black educator thing. We'll see how it goes. Okay. We'll see how the conversation goes. But I appreciate anybody that's already up in here. I appreciate you spelled Miles wrong. You got to get that shit right, Kenny. Don't come in here with that bad grammar. You are Ann Arbor Public School motherfucker. Okay? You up here running for public office. You can't be spelling people's names wrong in this bitch. How I got two Kens in here? I got a Kenneth Real Estate Jackson. I got a Kenneth McGee. McGee for sheriff. But he came in bold, y'all. He came in bold. And Mrs. Miles was his principal. I'm telling Mrs. Miles. That's wrong. The Mile is M-I-A-L, Kenny. Woo, you fucking up today, bro. You fucking up today. M-I-A-L. You got another way you can spell Mile? You got another way you can spell Mile? Please spell Mile the right way. I cannot move on with this stream until you put in M-I-A-L. Here, let me help you out, dog. Let me help you out, dog. Let me help you out. There you go. There you go. It's back up on the screen. M-I-A-L. God damn. God damn. That ain't got nothing to do with no fat thumbs. That's a little dyslexia. That's just a little not paying attention. You ain't texting and driving, are you? You know that's against the rules, Sheriff. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Kenny jumped in here like that. He jumped in here like that. Then he went to this. Now he went to this. All right, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm in sort of a playful mood right now because I'm trying to be in a good mood without being in a bad mood. I got some things right now that can really kind of make me be in a bad mood, but they not. Just, some stones in my shoe. And when you got a stone in your shoe, it's just aggravating. But, pretty soon I'm going to be able to shake it out. Once I shake it out, I'll be good. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. There you go. That's absolutely true. It's the love that counts. It's the thought that counts. Had a late breakfast, no problem. That protein will kick in. That protein will kick in a minute. That brain will get going. Get you a shot of ginseng and some ginkgo biloba and stuff. We'll be good for the day. But yeah, I want to salute the Black educators today. We had done so with the Miles, and then we've done so now with Mr. Beatty, and I got playful with some folks in the chat. But yeah, I appreciate anybody that's going to check this out. And if you do, make sure you stay up on stuff like this, because this was actually sent to me right here. And when this got sent to me, and I was like, okay, so Ypsilanti got something. Let me see who my first was in Ann Arbor. And I couldn't think of anybody better to salute than the Mile family. They're a great family, and they did a lot for me through my life. Mr. Mile, he used to spend major bread with me, at the barbecue pit. He used to spend major bread with me, and I hooked up some dinners and stuff like that for the lodge, and they gave us all that business back in the day. They was good people, they was really into networking and shit like that. They was really into taking care of us, because we were a black business in Washtenaw County, so it was a beautiful thing. So I'm just on a positive note. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift. Okay. We're going to shift. We're going to shift this message. And so like I said, Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor, I put y'all in this stream here because y'all needed to see this. Y'all needed to see the specifics. Okay. Y'all needed to see the specifics of what I had popping today locally. Because y'all be like, how come it doesn't have anything to do with Ipsy and you're posting it in Ipsy? And then Ann Arbor's like, how come you post here? You guys talk different and shit. You talk different, but what you do is you piss me off because I should be able to put my content anywhere in Washtenaw County. I'm from Ann Arbor and I live in Ipsy. So why shouldn't I be able to put my content in both of those pages? I got networks in both of those pages, but I realize y'all got members. Y'all got members who subscribe to your page for free, because none of these pages cost nothing to be a part of, but they complain because I have stuff up and it's not specifically about Ann Arbor and it's not specifically about Ypsilanti. So they complain to y'all and y'all knees buckle and then y'all ask me and then I just delete the shit. I get tired of it. But since today I had something pop in for Ann Arbor, today I had something pop in for Ypsilanti, I decided to tag that ass too. So got you, Ann Arbor, Ipsy. Anybody in Ann Arbor, Ipsy that wants to listen, keep listening. If you don't, bye, because I'm not going to talk about Ann Arbor and Ipsy probably pretty much for the rest of the stream. We good. We good with it. Hold on one second. I got to make sure it was a text that came through. So what I'm doing right now is I'm playing home games. All right. I'm playing home games. All right. And today's home game is not a good game I'm playing. I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's not a good game. So we're going to go back to the original thumbnail. All right. We're going to go back to the original. You late as a motherfucker, Free. You don't miss the great monologue. You don't miss the great monologue. I don't know what you over there dwelling in the Twitter spaces. I don't know what you're doing. Y'all was on a Google call, but I'm feeling real neglected up in here. All I was dealing with was Ken's. I had Kenneth Real Estate Jackson up in here, and I had Kenneth McGee for Sheriff up in here, and you wasn't on deck. Villager was on deck, but Frida wasn't on deck. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but we're going to talk about it afterwards. So what I'm into today, like I said, I got to come back home with it. And y'all know when I come back home, I talk some black stuff. I got to talk some black stuff. And I'm not impressed with the black stuff that I got to talk today. Appreciate the hashtag Free. Free's always throwing that hashtag up when she comes in. That lets me know she's here. That lets me know she's on deck. Okay. So please understand today's message. Yes, you are. Today's message is not a positive message, but I'm going to have a positive spin to it. Please understand, I'm going to have a positive spin to it. I tend to make messages. That are negative. I tend to be able to twist them into a positive. I've been doing that all week on these sports pages. I've been trying to explain to people that my post is not really my post. You got to read between the messages on my post. And my thing is, if you're gonna read the message, digest the message properly. Don't try to eat my message whole. Okay. Don't try to swallow my message whole. You gotta chew my message up. And they used to tell you, you got 32 teeth, you got to chew 32 times. That's what you got to do to my message. Most people try to eat my message whole and they end up choking. I'll be honest with you. They just straight up end up choking. And I'm gonna let you know right now, because I give you the warning, do not eat my message whole, digest my message properly. If you choke on my message, I'm not giving you the Heimlich. I'm just going to let you choke. Yeah, Free. They was up in here harassing me. Kenny wouldn't spell Mr. and Mrs. Miles' name right. Jack came in with my hood name, didn't even come in with my government name. That buff. I was like, uh-oh, it's going to be some trouble today. It's going to be some trouble today. So yes, we in here. All right. And I'm going to get heated. I'm going to get heated for a quick minute. So let me just go to the first. Let me just go to the first thing. Since we got him up on the screen, and I'll take the thumb down right now. Let me just go in so y'all can see him in his full splendor. Y'all can see him in his full splendor. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want you to hear it because I heard it, didn't like it, but we're going to hear it again and we're going to break it all the way down to the least common denominator. And that's this motherfucker right here.
You look in the hood, you hear about it. There's liquor stores and check cashing places because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. You're going to get your check and you're going to buy this liquor, and then you're not going to have no more money. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out.
Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes? I mean, I got to actually listen to that again. Let me run it back. I know y'all probably done heard this before, but I don't even think I listened to just right there at the end. Right there at the end, Kevin said something so profound. So we're going to break that down when he comes back.
You look in the hood, you hear about it. There's liquor stores and check cashing places because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. You're going to get your check and you're going to buy this liquor, and then you're not going to have no more money. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out.
It's not until you understand it's when you get out. So once you understand that concept, and you know what that concept is, right? You know what that concept is. Once you understand that concept of getting a bank account, it's all over. You figured it out. Life begins now. Once somebody gives you an account number and a routing number, whoa. Let me not put the cart before the horse, because if you got an account number, you got a savings account. But if you got a routing number, you got a savings and a checking account. Yeah. So let me not jump out there and get all uppity with it. You know, don't let me get sedity up in here today. But yeah, once you get you a bank account, Kevin Hart says it's all over. You can be still living in the hood, but if you got a bank account, you've pretty much mastered the American financial infrastructure. This was some of the most lunatic-based material he's ever spouted. And Kevin has said some dumb shit in his years, whether it be comically, whether it be seriously. But let me tell you, there ain't shit funny about this one. There is absolutely nothing funny about what Kevin Hart said on this one. Oh yeah, he has been compromised. It's an unfortunate thing. The dollar has got him. I get it. And you got to understand, read between the lines. Kevin is one of the biggest faces for Chase Bank. Has been for years now. Chase Bank went and got Kevin years ago to become one of their faces for marketing. So when you start talking about banking and you're Black, you don't see very many banking commercials with Black people in them. Black people might be standing in line at the teller window. Black people might be the tellers. But you don't see Black people speaking up for the banking industry. Kevin Hart is a spokesperson for Chase Bank. Has been. So for him to make this type of statement, my question is this. Has Kevin ever went to the powers that be at JP Morgan Chase and say, hey, look, you got my face plastered everywhere. I'm online, I'm on TV, I'm on billboards, I'm on buses and shit. How about we start concentrating on putting some banks in Black neighborhoods? Let's put some banks in black neighborhoods. How about we start doing some financial literacy programs in black neighborhoods? Have you ever thought about maybe doing that, Kevin, instead of just calling black people stupid? Because some people are forced to go to party stores, to go to check cashing places, to go to gas stations. Hell, I've seen people cash a check at Coney Island before. Real shit. I've literally seen people cash their checks at Coney Islands because they have a direct relationship with the people who own the Coney Island. This is some real shit. And that Coney Island lets them get food on credit for their family in between them getting paid. So when they get paid, they bring their paycheck to the Coney Island, and the Coney Island cashes them out and just takes the money that they would have owed for their food. Now, Kevin says you can't get credit in the hood, but that's getting credit. That's getting credit right there. Someone who's able to get food for their family because their checks don't stretch far enough, excuse me. That's credit. That's hood credit, but that's credit. It's not going to show up on your FICO, but that's credit. And my problem with people like Kevin is, damn, dog, you forgot? You forgot how hard it is for a lot of people out here to be able to stretch that check to check? Maybe some people go to check cashing places because they get payday loans because their checks don't stretch. Maybe some people do go to gas stations because, hey, they drink, they smoke. And sometimes when they run out of money, they ain't got money, then they get a pack of cigarettes, get a drink, get something on credit, and they come back and they cash their check and they just get cashed out. Hell, I know people that have bank accounts and still cash their check at the liquor store just so they can pay their local debt. Having a bank account ain't shit if you ain't got no money to put in it. Real shit. Would you say that, Free? Exactly. And Chase Bank does not cater to us. Absolutely not. I know 2 Freeman Chase Bank holders to date, and that's my brother Marcus and my Aunt Laura, and they've been with Chase since the 80s. Yeah, they was with Chase when it was MBD. They don't even acknowledge Chase probably. They was with Chase when it was MBD. Back in the day, it was MBD. Yeah. Way before JP Morgan Chase put its name on it. It was MBD. And they do not cater to us. They pay Kevin Hart a lot of money to be a spokesperson, but they don't cater to us. And Kevin knows that. As a bought and paid for individual, Kevin knows that. Kevin knows JP Morgan Chase don't give a shit about us. So for him to say that shit to Grant Cardone, Grant's a race soldier. And I've been to many a Grant Cardone seminars. In the car business, I've been to many a Grant Cardone seminars. And he sat up there and let Kevin say that goofy shit without interrupting him. Hell, a lot of the seminars that I went to, they was at places, near dealerships and stuff. And they'd have the whole, we'd be like expos and stuff like that. Those places would be coming right up out the hood. We'd actually eat in the hood. And go to the places, to do the ride and drives and the stuff like that. And Grant Cardone would be at those places. I know Grant ate some of that fried chicken in some of them neighborhoods. Grant knows what them neighborhoods is like. But see, once you get to that certain level of money, you tend to forget a lot of stuff that you might have did when you was on that come up. Because we talking about 25 years ago. Yeah, we talking about 25 years ago. I started going to Grant Cardone seminars before I got in the car business, but mostly the stuff that I saw him in was catered to the car business because he didn't just do speeches for the car business. He did them for training purposes and different things like that. And it was crazy to understand how he has evolved into this. I know everything now. Now you bringing people like Kevin Hart on who's acting like he knows black people. Nah, Kev, that's not black people. Black people aren't stupid. He called black people stupid. He called black people stupid. Here, let me
You look in the hood, you hear about it. There's liquor stores and check cashing places because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts.
Because they know that black people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. Now, if somebody tells you you're not smart enough, what are they saying? You're stupid. So he's saying that everybody in the hood ain't smart enough to have a bank account. I'm sorry, but Kevin's next tour, he better hope that motherfucker's on Netflix. Because if he starts showing up in venues and they half full, then black folks can just say, you know what, Kev, we ain't got no bank accounts. We can't charge them tickets. We used to pay for your tickets in cash. But we can't charge them tickets. We ain't got no bank accounts. We ain't got no debit cards. We're going to go over here and see Dave Chappelle. He takes cash still. Deuces, nigga. What'd you say, Brother Ibrahim? Kevin don't understand we created mutual aid societies before America let us use bank. Kevin don't understand shit, Brother Ibrahim. He don't understand shit. I am totally gassed on this. When I heard not smart enough, I lost my shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. You just threw the whole collective away. Black people aren't smart enough in the hood? What? Come on, man. They done put an apple in his mouth, dog. They done put an apple in Kevin's mouth. Kevin's on the spindle. He just turning. Big spindles keep on turning. MBD. 9.9 billion was taken last year in overdraft fees. Whose money do you think that mostly was? Let me explain something to you. 87%. Just listening to this. 87% of the overdraft fees, 87%. We pay for banks. We not only put our money in banks, we pay with the overdraft fees. Yeah, it's us. We don't have bank accounts, Kevin? Sure could have fooled us. Because when that 35 keep hitting on the same bill, you know, it ain't like the old days when you could float a check. Let me post date this. Take it, consider it paid. The money will be there in a couple of days. Nah, when you hit that shit, if the money ain't there, 35. They just keep plugging it away. Sometimes twice in a day. We ain't got bank accounts. Kevin can't tell me what happened to the Freeman Bank, Jesse Binga Bank in Chicago, and the Jackie Robinson Bank in Buffalo. Yes, the baseball player had a bank that was sabotaged by the government. God damn, Abraham. What? See, this is stuff that I just don't know. That's why I don't speak on it. But having brothers like Ibrahim who has the data. Brother Ibrahim has the data. He's one of the most educated brothers out here on Freedman business. Sorry I couldn't make that stream yesterday for you. I was starting to listen to a little bit. I got to end up getting a call today. But yeah, I had to bounce yesterday. But my thing is, when you have stuff like this, this slaps me in the face. Jackie Robinson had a bank in Buffalo? Wow. We don't hear about shit like this. We don't hear about shit like this. This is why they're trying to do so much to cover history like this up. Like we've never done anything, like we've just been laborers. First, we were unpaid laborers, then we were paid laborers, but we ain't never really overcame shit. They're going to try to create this world like shit didn't really start until like, you know, Michael Jordan and LeBron James type shit. You guys didn't really get big here until Denzel started making movies. Him and that Samuel L. saved you guys. They don't like to talk about our real history. And I don't just sit on the shit that we did while we were enslaved. I don't sit on the shit that we did when we invented shit and didn't get patents, didn't get trademarks. So there was no residual earnings. So there was no generational wealth. No, I don't just sit on that. We've done so much more. Yeah, we can start it in 1619, but let's go all the way to 2023 with it. Let's go all the way to 2023 with it. There ain't no point in cutting off our history when they stop cutting off our legs. Speaking of cutting off legs, this shit right here incensed me. You hear me? This incensed me. When somebody says, why y'all still angry about slavery? This why. This why. You look at the look on that person's face, that man's face. Look at the despair. Look at the hopelessness. He sees no way out ever. Show me a white man that you've ever seen in that position with that type of look on his face. Show me a Latino man you've ever seen with that type of look on his face. Show me an Asian man that you've ever seen with that look on his face. Show me an Arabic man that you've ever seen with that look on his face. Show me. Show me. You can't show me that. There's only been one people that this has happened to. One. And then people want to ask, why black people would still be mad? Why black people still be mad when they talk about slavery? This why. This why. Don't tell me we've come a long way. Please don't tell me that. You don't want to tell me that we've come a long way. How far have we really come? Huh, motherfucker? How far have we really come? That's a fresh off the arrest shot. This happened before they got him to the jail. This happened when he was in the street. This happened when he was handcuffed. Yeah, he fled. I get it. I get it. He fled. They tased him. They put the cuffs on him. But before they put him in the car, this happened. And those police officers are still at work today. They have not been suspended without pay, with pay, taken off active duty, put on desk duty. No, they're still working. Jacksonville, Florida's finest, right here. Jacksonville, Florida's finest. Yeah. So please don't tell me it's been a long time ago. It's been such a long time ago. You got to get past that. This was just a couple days ago, y'all. Just a couple days ago. Yeah. So where this clown went wrong, this individual suffers. What Kevin did was way more destructive to the black community than what this kid did. 24 years old. His life will never, ever be the same. 24. 24. In this individual's life, this just goes through our souls. Our ancestors put up with way more than we'll ever have to contend with. I would never put myself in a space of what our ancestors had to deal with. The most brutal years on this planet. The most brutal years on this planet. And then we get to a situation like this.
They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. You're going to get your check, and you're going to buy this liquor, and then you're not going to have no more money. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out.
Thanks for the message, Kev. Nice boots, bruh. Now, I might as well just stay in the same vein. I'll be honest with you. I might as well stay in the same vein. Ain't no point in me going nowhere with this. I know everybody up on this one too. I'm a little late because I didn't get up yesterday or the day before. Did I get up the day before? I think I got up maybe the day before I came up. Days are starting to run together a little bit, man. But this right here, I decided to put this picture of Terrell Owens up. By the end of this, I'll probably be calling him Terrell, because I tend to call people by their name wrongfully when I'm being disrespectful. But I'm going to call him Terrell from the beginning, because his name is Terrell Owens. And I decided to use this picture because I wanted Terrell to be posing with the person that he loves the most. And that's Terrell. Terrell loves himself more than he loves anything. He's shown that over the years. You know, I'm not going to really talk about his playing career because that's what made him Terrell Owens. That's what made him T.O. I get it. But his post-career has been somewhat dramatic. Held out of the Hall of Fame purposely. I know they was doing it to him purposely. They didn't like him. I mean, he had the yards, he had the stats, he had everything, Super Bowls, all that stuff. But when you are who you are and you're Terrell Owens, T.O., yeah, he did it to himself. He did it to himself. His process was delayed. I think he had to get put through like 3 times or something before they let him in. And I get it. Not saying that he deserved not getting into the Hall of Fame, because he was indeed a Hall of Fame receiver. It was his exploits that I believe kept him from being a first ballot Hall of Fame. Is that what they call it? First ballot Hall of Famer. But Terrell Owens has now stepped into another pile of shit. He's stepped in plenty when he played and after he played, but he done stepped into a pile of shit here. And this is one of the people that now I can look to, because I talk about this all the time because I have been in interracial relationships. I don't even like the term, but it is what it is. Interracial. I've been with people that aren't black. I'm with someone who isn't black now. You can't be a part of the Black Power movement, man. Your wife ain't even black. Yeah, okay. What do y'all think about Terrell? If y'all think that about me, but y'all salute Terrell, y'all been saluting Terrell. And Terrell's just not a man who has dated white women, who has married white women. Terrell is a black man who says he prefers white women. Yeah. Let's take a listen, shall we? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. For some reason, I'm not hooked up to that Bluetooth there. Let's get right, Shannon. Get right. Straighten up and fly right. All right, let's go again. Let's just start that again. Come on, Terrell. Kick it.
My experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls was when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was strong. Right. I was teased from high school, even to college. I got teased for being dark skinned. Damn, so they teased you, cuz? Yeah. So a lot of stuff a lot of self-esteem issues.
Right.
No, I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, when my first experience with a white girl, I'm like, okay, it wasn't bad, but that wasn't. I just totally gravitated to white girls after that.
Right.
That wasn't the situation. So again, my experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. So, but that still didn't deter me from still dating or pursuing black girls. Right. So my thing now is because I know there's the stigma, the stereotypical of athletes, to go off and make money, this and that, and date the opposite color, opposite race. But for me now, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with, good energy, and I get a good vibe with. That's where I am. Like I said, we all want somebody that's attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? I said it's going to play a big part in it. Anybody that says, "Oh, well, I don't care what the person looks like," that's a lie. That's a lie. We all want somebody that we can roll over and wake up to. That's, you know what I mean, that looks pleasing to the eye. Everybody's experiences have been different. For me, when I grew up, I was in my high school pretty much is 50. I don't know what percentage black, white, but I lived in a black neighborhood. So at the end of the day, I attempted to date black girls. When I was younger, I wasn't as handsome as I am now. I didn't have this beautiful smile as I had. As I have now.
You're beautiful.
Right. I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And when I bloomed, boy, did I bloom.
When I bloomed, boy, did I bloom. That's some clown shit. I don't know who he was talking to. Was he talking to Chad Johnson? I'm not sure. So there's so much to unpack here. There's so much to unpack here. A man wants what he wants. I get it. What a man wants, he generally gets. Sets his mind to it, can generally make it his. But Terrell Owens put black women, the black women who might have teased him, who might have outed his shortcomings. He said it himself. He was gangly, scrawny, awkward. He wasn't as handsome as he is now. I mean, I'm glad he thinks really highly of himself. Like I said, he loves himself more than anybody else ever could. I mean, that term, only a face that a mother could love, I think Terrell could love his face more than his mother. But to hear him say, yeah, I started dating white girls because black girls was teasing me, as if he had met every black woman in the United States or even on the planet. So the women where he was, in close proximity to where he was, didn't particularly care for him. So he decided he would just go ahead and flip. I'm going to leave y'all all over here because a few of y'all done said some things to hurt my feelings. And see, this is where a problem for someone like myself, who I've been with pretty much the whole fucking spectrum. Black, white, Puerto Rican, you know the rest. Asians, Islamic, probably weren't practicing. She didn't wear a hijab. All over the planet. German, Russian. I mean, come on now. Because see, there's different kind of white people. There's Germans. There's Russians. They all look the same, but they were different. They were actually different. They were not just your quintessential Caucasian individual. But I've never, ever felt, thought, or said, man, I prefer white women over black women. Who does that shit? Well, I know who does that shit. Terrell does that shit. Yeah. T.O. T.O. I'm not sure how he makes it back into, well, sports people aren't going to care because they're just going to let that roll off their backs. But I gotta think that black women who do look at football and who do pay attention to stuff like this, not necessarily me, nobody really pays attention to me. They're going to look at Terrell differently after this. They're absolutely going to look at Terrell differently after this. I mean, literally, for him to say, hold on 1 second, man.
My experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls was when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me.
They did not like me. You were a football player. You became a football star in college. How do I know you became a football star in college? Because you became a football player in the NFL and became a football star in the NFL. You generally have to be a star in college to make it in the NFL, or really, 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 really damn good. They don't take people in the NFL that aren't really, 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 really damn good and or stars. So you're trying to tell me that you being on the football team, you being a star, you couldn't get black women? Black women fall at the feet of the ugliest motherfucker out there. Hey, if you treat them right, talk to them right, you treat them right, respect them. Most of them don't really give a fuck what you look like, Terrell. You're not going to run that by me. And hopefully nobody else buys that shit either. That was mad disrespectful. Black girls didn't like me. He put black women in the whole spectrum in a jar, screwed the top on, and walked away. That's some dismissive shit. That's some dismissive shit. I've done some dismissive shit in my life, and that's some dismissive shit.
Skinny, I was strong.
Right.
I was teased from high school, even college. I got teased for being dark skinned. Damn.
Come on, man. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I seen dark-skinned dudes pull women left and right, hand over fist. I'm telling you. I've seen dark-skinned dudes win my whole life. I don't know if I've ever not seen, if a dude has half a game, if he has half a game, come on, man. I'm not even sure why he ran this one by him. He said, because he was dark-skinned. Maybe your Mac was just whack, Terrell. Maybe you just couldn't talk to girls. I don't remember hearing Terrell's voice when he was younger. I don't know. Maybe he acquired his skills kind of like Shay Sharp. Shannon didn't speak the same when he was a younger player. He got in a couple books, throughout his career and his post-playing career, and he sounds great now. But I'm not sure exactly what made black women not like him because he was dark I mean, it's just fucking nuts. What'd you say, Free? Sounding like he's 12 years old instead of being a man and stating his preference, and it has always been for white females. I don't know. Just speak your piece, dude. Just speak your piece. People would respect you if you just speak your piece. But he's made an excuse why he dates white women, why he dates or prefers white women. Nobody needs to even know your preference. He had to make it known. I don't know what kind of cast that was on. I don't know what kind of interview that was. Maybe the interview was going sideways and they really weren't on no shit. And he needed something to put into play. Because this was some goofy shit. This was literally some goofy shit.
They tease you, cuz? Yeah. So there was a lot of self-esteem issues. Right. No, I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, when my first experience with a white girl, I was like, okay, it wasn't bad, but that was
my first experience with a white girl. I wonder if she felt like she was having sex in a petri dish. She was a science experiment. Terrell didn't really like her. He was just trying her out. He was just taking a test drive. Can I get that white girl 2000 over there? You got one with tinted windows on it? My first experience. Then he said she was all right. Boy, I hate to be the girl that he had sex with. And to know that she was the first white girl, she probably like, motherfucker. Or she probably like, motherfucker. Hold on, man.
I just totally gravitated to white girls after that. Right. That wasn't the situation. So again, my experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. So, but that still didn't deter me from still dating or pursuing black girls. Right. So my thing now is, because I know there's the stigma, the stereotypical of athletes, to go off and make money, this and that, and date the opposite color, opposite race. But for me now, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race. Mm-hmm. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with, good energy, and I get a good vibe with. That's where I am. Like I said, we all want somebody that's attractive. Right. You know what I mean? I said it's going to play a big part in it. Anybody that says, oh, well, I don't care what the person looks like, that's a lie. That's a lie. We all want somebody that we can roll over and wake up to, that's, you know what I mean, that looks pleasing to the eye. Everybody's experiences have been different. For me, when I grew up, I was in my high school pretty much is 50, I don't know what percentage black, white, but I lived in a black neighborhood. So at the end of the day, I attempted to date black girls. When I was younger, I wasn't as handsome as I am now. I didn't.
Excuses. He lived in a black neighborhood, but he couldn't find a black girl that found him attractive. Jeez. Football star, big motherfucker, whatever. These types of things plague us. And they plague people like me because everybody tries to put us all in the same group. And let me tell you something, we ain't all in the same gang. We ain't all in the same gang. Yes, I've dated outside my race. Yes, I have had children outside my race. But can you call me on my shit? Who do you see me riding for constantly? Who have you always seen me riding for constantly? And anybody I've ever been with that wasn't black, they understood who I ride with. Crazy thing is, most of the black women that I have been with, the one I gave my name to, the one I was with for 10, 11 years, hell, There's some suspect behavior on both of them situations. My wife absolutely hated black people. She absolutely hated white people. I mean, black people. Didn't like white people, but she worked with white people way better than she worked with black people. Yeah, she did. She worked with white people way better than she did with black people. Because she didn't like herself. She didn't like who she was. She had a problem internally. And then that made it externally, and it was just a bad situation. I absolutely call bullshit on and to free. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that these clowns got to get out here and run this route. That's a bad pass route that you ran there, Terrell. That's a bad pass route. Incomplete pass on the play. Pass thrown to Terrell Owens. He missed it. Fourth down. Got a punt. And this is something right here that I argued with a few folks about this earlier, because I'm not sure exactly how anybody doesn't see this as a bad thing. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Damian Lillard, who just signed a contract with the Milwaukee Bucks, recently filed for divorce. Like literally after he signed his contract, he filed for divorce from his wife, mother of his 3 children. And I was trying to explain this to a couple people, and they just wanted to argue, oh, he's gonna be good. He got a lot of money. He got a lot of money. He got good sense. He got good sense. This don't have shit to do with common sense, man. And I was trying to explain to them, having common sense, having tens of millions of dollars does not make you whole. It absolutely does not make you whole. I don't know who's listening to this video right now, but if you can click a thumbs up, that'd be great. Because if you got 500 friends, that will trigger the algorithm wherever you are. And that will help me out, push this video to maybe 3-4 more viewers. I appreciate that. And I saw that they had been living separately. Sister Nicole, how you doing today? Please throw that thumbs up for me if you on the book. I saw that they had been living separately for months now. They had a big mansion, $7 million mansion. Dame moved to like something kind of a downsized situation, like a $2 million mansion. Same town, he kind of did that same thing what Kanye did. Didn't want to be too far from his kids, stayed in the same town. And then he moved somewhere else, and I don't know how far that is from the house that they all used to live in. And then he gets traded. And he's been pushing to get traded. So the main thing that I have a problem with is people not understanding Dame is going to be without his family now. Because he's going to go to Milwaukee. He's going to go to Milwaukee. That's where he plays basketball. So he has to live in Milwaukee. I heard that too, Nicole. She didn't want to go. So if they were having problems for a long time, and I don't know if it was the stress and the strain of his NBA career, even though it's afforded her a ridiculous life. And money doesn't change everything for everybody. But if they were having problems and they were having strains and strifes, and then all of a sudden you get hit with, hey, I'm going to Milwaukee. But it sounds like it was going on and going bad well before the trade. Yeah. I mean, did you exhaust all possibilities? Did y'all go through marriage counseling? Did you go see Reb? Did you go see the Reb? Because you got to go see the Reb and give some marriage counseling. Or did you go see a marriage counselor? Did y'all talk to family? Did y'all talk about the pros and the cons of being apart? They've been together since college. This is a weird situation for me. Generally, when people are together and they meet each other in school, they tend to make it. I mean, every now and then there's those situations where they say they grew apart. They don't put 3 kids on the planet. They should have grown closer. Dame's done went to the highest heights he could go in the NBA, one of the most sought after players in the league. So it's given them all the money, all the security, all the finances that they've needed. My basketball husband could move me to the south side of Ipsy. I'm going to make it work and be part of whatever. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you drop down, you wanted the people at that point. But maybe she has something else in her that she figured I made it and I don't want to see no resemblance of where I was before. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what is in her mind, so I don't want to put words in her mouth. But the fact that they were having problems before, I definitely know it couldn't have got no better when she found out that he was moving to Milwaukee. I'd like to know the timeline on it. Like, could they have possibly worked it out had he got traded to Phoenix? Had he got traded to Miami? You know, had he got traded to a place where it's not Milwaukee? I mean, because real talk, Milwaukee ain't the sexiest address to have. Although they probably wouldn't be living in the city limits. You know, they'd probably be, outside of Milwaukee. There's some suburbs that's got some crazy spaces outside of Milwaukee. And that's probably where they would have resided. I say she has a flaw in her character. I say so too, sis. Brother Emmanuel on deck, I appreciate you always, brother. We just in here cooking. We had a couple things we had to get off our chests today. Kevin Hart, Terrell Owens, and now we're talking about Brother Dame. Brother Dame, I'm happy for him. I'm happy he got what he got. But I'm not happy that he's having to leave his family behind. And I see the disengagement happening with his kids because he's going to be all the way in Milwaukee. And his kids, he possibly has like school-age kids. What happens when his kids go to school? They be like, your daddy got traded. Y'all moving too? Oh, your mama and daddy ain't together no more? Y'all staying, huh? I mean, shit. Got to know all the aspects of all the situation. Absolutely. That's why I don't put no words out that I don't know. All I know is that spiritually, this can be good for the kids. They're about to lose their father physically because he's on his way to Milwaukee. He's on his way to Milwaukee, and that's his job. So there ain't no point in shipping him over there every weekend, putting him on a private jet every weekend, because Dame gonna be gone. They're going to have to do that crazy arrangement. When he's on a homestand, they come in and hang out. It's going to be awkward for her. Or will she come? Will Dame's mom be there? See, I don't know the family dynamics and none of that stuff. I care more about the sanctity of these kids, though, because they're going to lose their daddy. Although he's doing what he's got to do to provide the crazy resources that he provides for them, they lose their daddy. And That's another way of taking the black man out the home. See, I can always turn this back to black oppression. Even though he's not oppressed, it's oppressing for a black man to be away from his kids. You know, there's certain parts of Milwaukee, they say you just don't go whether it's daytime or night. And there's certain parts of Detroit that you just don't go to whether it's daytime or night. I think they might run neck and neck on their rough parts. But if you're talking about the good parts, I don't think Milwaukee can hold a candle to Detroit on the good parts. The parts that I can literally walk hand in hand with my grandchildren out down the street, because there's some places that ain't nobody safe nowhere. Hell, there's places that people that live in the neighborhood that's bad, they're not safe. So I'm saying zip code to zip code, if we just say state, if we just say city to city, I would have to say Detroit overall. Because I would say Milwaukee, man. I've seen some clips on Milwaukee recently. Crazy. And I think it just got designated like as one of the most dangerous cities too. So it's got that Medal of Honor. Yeah, it's got that Medal of Honor. So I got some other stuff that I want to talk about today, but I don't think I really want to bring it up because I think this stream has literally been what it's needed to be. I mean, we had to talk about that little man. We had to talk about that little man. And we had to talk about this big man. Although he wasn't as handsome as he is now. And we've talked about Brother Dame now. And we talked about our current state. And we talked about our past state. But I started the stream the same way I'm going to end it. I started with saluting two of the most incredible people who ever graced Ann Arbor, Michigan. Harry and Joetta Mile. Harry was the first Black teacher in the Ann Arbor Public Schools in 1954. His wife, Joetta, became the first Black principal at Huron High School in 1986. My town, A Square, the Deuce. Harry actually became a principal later. Then Kenny said he was his principal back in the day. And then I also saluted Brother Charles Eugene Beatty, the very first Michigan Black principal. In 1940, he became the first Black principal in the state in the city of Ypsilanti. Yeah. I know they was talking that shit, talking about ain't no Black people in Washtenaw County. What you doing up there trying to talk about reparations in Washtenaw County and ain't no Black people in Washtenaw County? That sounds dumb as fuck. What you doing? You know, let me close it like this. I'm going to close it like this because it wouldn't be me unless I take that knife that they put in me and I pulled it out and I made sure I wiped all the blood off of it. But I'm about to put that knife back in Detroit. Maybe not Detroit as a whole, because I don't hold Detroit totally responsible for this clown. But I do hold Detroit responsible for having people out here talking reckless. And I'm going to make sure I take this part of the clip and make it a smaller clip and make sure I put it in Twitter so they can see. I ain't got to lie, Craig. I ain't got to lie. Hold on a second. We're going to get up on out of here. Yeah. We're going to get on up out of here. Sure is. I'm hot. I'm hot because I got called on something that was not only unfair, it was unjust, and it was flat out wrong. So yeah, let me go in and get this tight. Give me 1 second. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that City of Detroit City Council Legislative Policy Division? You see that? See if I can blow it up just a little bit. Bam! How about that? Fit to the screen. All the people that's a part of the city government right there. We scrolling down to Detroit City Council from David Whitaker, Director, Legislative Policy Division, applying to be appointed to the Reparations Task Force. July 7th, 2022. If I'm not mistaken, this is the motherfucker who I checked on the shit, and he fucking tried to lie. Council President Sheffield directed LPD to direct a document outlining a formal process for the general public to apply to serve on the Reparations Task Force, including a timeline qualification that will be considered and where people submit resumes for consideration. This report will provide a summary of the process addressing the above issues. An online link for applicants to fill out to be considered is provided. Overview. A recent resolution passed by Council on July 5th, 2022, described the process Council will follow to appoint the Reparations Task Force as follows. According to the results of the Reparations Task Force survey, the qualifications of the individuals to serve on the task force should be considered. Eligibility: Detroit residents. I am not a Detroit resident. I am a Pittsfield Township resident with an Ypsilanti address in Washtenaw County. That's not in Detroit because Detroit's in Wayne County. Required term of residency, 6 to 10 years. I couldn't have 6 to 10 years seeing that I'm a resident of Washtenaw County inside of Pittsfield Township with an Ypsilanti address, which is in Washtenaw County, and Detroit is in Wayne County. Membership to open, what? Membership is open to non-African Americans? What's that about? What's that about? What's that about? Can we talk? Can we talk for a minute? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna get up out of here real quick. But we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. It says Detroit residents. Required term of residency, 6 to 10 years. Membership. Non-African Americans? Whoa. You worrying about me being in Washtenaw County trying to do reparations in Washtenaw County when I told you my focus here is to have it done by and for descendants of enslaved individuals. But you motherfuckers is putting non-African Americans on your task force? Yeah. Yeah. You motherfuckers think you're slick. Y'all think you're slick. My grandmother used to call Detroit people city slick niggas. City slick niggas. And she wasn't talking about City Slickers, the store, either. See, they tried to run me down in that Twitter space. And I told them from the get, y'all wanted Detroit residents. That's why I wasn't fucking with it. First line, Detroit residents. Second line, required term of residency, 6 to 10 years. Yeah, I lived in Detroit several years back, but I didn't live there 6 to 10 years. Couldn't even prove I did. Lived in Redford many a years, but I never lived in Detroit. But y'all got a lot of nerve mandating somebody to live anywhere for 6 to 10 years, mandating that they be a Detroit resident, when you let non-African Americans be on your task force? Oh, let me go in and get Dick out. Let me go in and get Dick out. Yeah, it's time. It's time. Come on. Where you at? Where you at, Mr. Gregory? Where you at? Yeah. Yeah. I had to pull Mr. Gregory out. He wondering too, A-Dub. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is that dude's government name. I just got sent this. David Whitaker. That would make sense. A-Dub. You know, they use the term dub for W. Huh. Yeah. I wonder if that's him. Composition, the top 12 professions and disciplines selected for representation on the task force: historian, legal, impact resident, community grassroots, housing expert, social justice advocate, economist, senior citizen, urban planner, youth representative, restorative justice advocate, clergy, religion. Y'all gonna get them preachers in there. Yeah, Reverend Wendell Anthony gonna get in there, him in his leather pants. Whereas the reparations task force is established as a result of the overwhelming support received by the ballot initiative, which garnered over 80% of the vote, to further exploration of the feasibility and ability of the city of Detroit to create a process, develop, and implement community reparations for mass historic unjust treatment. Y'all sound like HR 40 niggas. And I told him when Coleman Young Jr. got up there and said, "Oh, I see it kind of shaping up like HR 40. He was like, "No, we ain't doing that." I'm like, that's what he said. And he's a Detroit resident. And his name is Coleman Young Jr. But I'm supposed to believe you, A-Dub. You up here, A-Dub. Detroit residents. I told you this is why I didn't fuck with it. But maybe I shouldn't just fuck with it because y'all opening it up to non-African Americans. You motherfuckers is something else. Resolved that the members of the reparations task force shall be determined as follows. The task force shall consist of 13 members appointed as follows. The city council president shall appoint 4-member executive committee consisting of a chair and 3 ad hoc working coordinators. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I bet you them top 4 chairs probably going to be non-African Americans. Fuck out of here. Crazy. To even think about coming at me on that shit was crazy. I was like, dude, y'all wanted Detroit residents only. No, we didn't. Coleman Young Jr. said he saw it shaping up like HR 40. No, we ain't doing that. Okay. Just leave me alone, dog. Y'all good luck with y'all reparations thing in Detroit. I hope you get it. What I know is you got to run it by Big Mike. I know that. I know you got to run it by Big Mike Duggan. And if Big Mike Duggan says you can't have it, you not having it. Big Mike Duggan runs shit in Detroit. Not you, A-Dub. I'll tell you this. This wasn't A-Dub for you. It was A-L for you. So you need to stay the fuck out my face, stay the fuck out my space. And when I come up on the mic again, come up and say sorry. Say sorry. You hear me? You say sorry, boy. Give me that title, boy. You don't deserve this. One love.